Hello and welcome again to my channel, Food for HNM. Let me just make a few announcements. I am very happy that you have subscribed to my channel. For those of you who subscribed, thank you very much. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, or thank you. This is a Chinese kung fu move. There you go. Kung fu is, I hope it makes a comeback. I heard karate is cooler. And coming soon, very soon, is my video when I venture into Chinatown, Taiwan Town. It's Chinatown / Taiwan Town. Taiwanese food may be the next food like Thai or Indian that you may want to try. It is a little like Vietnamese food, but it's all good. There isn't any of it that is particularly smelly or like out there. It's all stuff that you would recognize. So we are continuing with Joshua chapter 17. This was the allotment. Remember, it is a little boring right now, but these are the written records of how the land of ancient Israel was divided up among the tribes of Israel. So this was the allotment for the tribe of Manasseh or Manasseh as Joseph's firstborn. That is for Machir, Manasseh's firstborn son, of course. But you have to remember, there's more than one reference to ladies, Israelite females that were able to inherit land. So, you remember that Israelites are God's people, but they're only his people if they want him. If they don't want him, then God is no sucker. God, the creator, the Lord, he'll just say, you don't want me, I don't want you either. But he's cool. God is, for the longest time, he has always been non-racist, non-elitist or classist, and non-sexist. Machir was the ancestor of the Gileadites, who had received Gilead and Bashan because the Machirites were great soldiers. So this allotment was for the rest of the people of Manasseh or Manasseh, the clans of Ebiezer, Helek, Asriel, Shechem, Hefer, and Shamida or Shamida. These are the other male descendants of Manasseh or Manasseh, son of Joseph. Remember, Joseph was a great person who saved Egypt. He was basically the ruler of Egypt under Pharaoh a long time ago. He's the son of Joseph, Manasseh or Manasseh, by their clans. Now, Zelophehad, son of Hefer, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh or Manasseh, had no sons, but only daughters. Well, here we go. Whose names were Mahlah. So this is this happened a long time ago. They're just bringing this back up to people's memory, bringing it back up. Mala, Noah, Hogla, Milcah, and Tirzah. These are the ladies I mentioned. You have to watch an earlier video. They went to Eleazar, the priest, Joshua, or Yehoshua, son of Nun. Remember, Nun is not, when you see son of nun, he is not the son of a nun, like a Catholic nun. These are all men. In some cultures, it is matrilineal. Wait, I think I said that wrong. Matrilineal. That means when you look at lineages, it's more reliable. For some reason, they mention the mom. Who is your mother? For accurate recording of there are these ancestry.com websites where you can find out what your family tree is like. So in some cultures it has to be mother to mother, mother to children. It's the mother, so it's matrilineal. But you can see that ancient Israel, it was a patrilineal society. They recorded the fathers. So Nun here is a man. It's not. He's not a Joshua or Yehoshua is not the son of a Catholic nun. His father's name was Nun or Nun. I think it's pronounced Nun. And the leaders said, the Lord, that is Jesus, the Lord. So you have to remember, the Lord is God, and God is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But the Lord is the Son. Jesus is the Son of God. And I just have to add really quickly that the third person of the Godhead or Trinity, he is also Lord. Not a Lord, he is also Lord. But the Lord is Jesus, is the Son. So the Lord commanded Moses to give us an inheritance among our relatives. So these ladies are saying that they heard, So Yehoshua gave them an inheritance because, Joshua, Yehoshua, he is the prophet. So he can really quickly talk to God, or he can go into like a holy room and speak to God too and verify these things. So maybe after verification, or he just knew, Sometimes you can't lie to people. So Joshua, Yehoshua gave them an inheritance of land, along with the brothers of their father, according to the Lord's command. So God commanded it. So God is actually not a sexist person. He's a person. Remember, God in three persons. Manasseh's share consisted of 10 tracts of land besides Gilead and Bashan, east of the Jordan, because the daughters of the tribe of Manasseh received an inheritance among the sons. The land of Gilead belonged to the rest of the descendants of Manasseh. Verse 7, the territory of Manasseh extended from Asher to Mikmethath, east of Shechem. Oh, first, you may want, this isn't a, okay. Asher, that the Asher, right? Asher, he is that is the name of one of the tribes, but he is a son of Jacob. Remember, there is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jacob's other name is Israel. And Jacob or Israel has 12 sons. Asher or Asher is or was one of his sons. But God, it's cool, He has so many names. His name is God. It's just God sometimes, the true God. Or you could call him the Trinity, right? The most holy Trinity. And then he is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That might almost be the best name. But they are these kind of super secret. You gotta know that secret handshake. You go boop boop. So you go. So what you do is you do something like this, and then you boop your own nose, and do like a reindeer, and then you gotta go like this. Keep it a secret, and then you go fist bump, and then you go pack, and then we go pack, and then do like a Hawaiian handshake. Got it? So our super secret handshake is do this, right? And boop your own nose and do a reindeer. So keep it secret. And then we'll do a fist bump, and then we'll go psh, psh, and we'll finally do a Hawaiian handshake. Okay, now that we got our super secret handshake, remember it's go like this, boop your nose, and do a reindeer, and then keep it secret, and then fist bump, and then pack, and then do a Hawaiian handshake. Got it? One more time. Like this, and then boop your own nose, and then reindeer, keep it secret, and then fist bump, and then go psh, psh, and do a Hawaiian handshake. That's our super secret handshake. But there's some super secret. Remember. Super secret. We have hand signals. I'm a real military prophet of the Lord Jesus. I know some military hand signals. Like this. Hold on. It's like free. Hold on. Stop. You gotta check something out. This is remember. And then this is do you have visual confirmation? Okay, but one of God's super secret Hebrew names is EAE, and it is unpronounceable. You shouldn't pronounce it. No. It's EAE. And the A is Asher or Asher. And it means I am who I am. Or it just means I am. He is the great I am. Or I am that I am. EAE. Another cool name. So there's EAE. And remember, his name is Adonai. That is Lord, the Lord. But you know why you say Adonai? Because a long time ago, there was this 4-letter name of God. The Creator. Same guy we're talking about. And you cannot pronounce it again. It is a Y, a H, a W, or V, and another H, capital, all capital letters. And you cannot, if you hear someone try to pronounce that, you shouldn't do it too much. It's just a rule. You can't pronounce it. You can spell it out, as I did, YHW or VH, or Yod-Hey, Vav-Hey, or Yod-Hey, Wow-Hey. But that's another one of his super secret names. And You just, when you see that, you just go Adonai or Adonai. That's how you pronounce it. So there's the I am, that's EAE. And then the Lord is actually written like that. It's a YHWH or YHVH. Yep. So we're talking about Manasseh's territory. So the boundary ran southward from there to include the people living at En Tapua. And Manasseh had the land of Tapua, but Tapua itself, on the boundary of Manasseh or Manasseh, belonged to the Ephraimites or Ephraimites. Then the boundary continued south to the Kana Ravine. These were the towns belonging to Ephraim or Ephraim, lying among the towns of Manasseh. But the boundary of Manasseh was the northern side of the ravine and ended at the Mediterranean Sea. On the south, the land belonged to Ephraim or Ephraim. On the north, to Manasseh or Manasseh. The territory of Manasseh reached the Mediterranean Sea and bordered Asher or Asher on the north and Issachar on the east. Okay, so remember, Joseph is an important person. So you just have to remember Manasseh or Manasseh. Okay, this is Manasseh and Ephraim. Manasseh is to the north, Ephraim is to the south. On the north, Manasseh. Okay. So the Mediterranean Sea, of course, is more to, if you look at a map, it's more to the west of what is now modern-day Israel. So these territories, these two territories are kind of more to the west, right? And bordered Asher on the north. Okay, so Asher was north of those two. Remember, those two are like Joseph. Those are Joseph's two sons. And to the east, because they're more to the west. The east was Issachar. So that's all you have to remember. If I have a chalkboard, it's Manasseh on the north, on the south. Okay, so Manasseh's to the north, Ephraim is to the south. And then north of them was Asher. And then east of them was Issachar. Within Issachar and Asher, Issachar and Asher, Manasseh also had Beth Shan. Oh, Beth Shan. Beth Shan is a city north of Yanum. IBM and the people of Endor, you might want to pay attention to. Endor, there was a witch living there. Ta'anak and Megiddo is also famous. Together with their surrounding settlements, the third in the list is Naphoth. Yet the Manassites were not able to occupy these towns, for the Canaanites were determined to live in that region. However, when the Israelites grew stronger, they subjected the Canaanites to forced labor, but did not drive them out completely. The people of Joseph said to Yehoshua, Why have you given us only one allotment and one portion for an inheritance? We are a numerous people, and the Lord has blessed us abundantly. If you are so numerous, Yehoshua answered, and if the hill country of Ephraim is too small for you, go up into the forest and clear land for yourselves there in the land of the Perizzites and Rephaites. The people of Joseph replied, the hill country is not enough for us, and all the Canaanites who live in the plain have chariots fitted with iron, both those in Bethshan and its settlements, and those in the valley of Jezreel. So there's some tough guys, you got to give them 50 punches in the stomach, give them 50 that live in Bethshan and in the valley of Jezreel. So that might be coming up, they got to work up, store up weapons and create some stronger strategies to take these Bethshan guys and Jezreel guys down. They have chariots with iron. But Yehoshua said to the tribes of Joseph, to Ephraim, and Manasseh, you are numerous and very powerful. You will have not only one allotment, but the forested hill country as well. Clear it, and its farthest limits will be yours. Though the Canaanites have chariots fitted with iron, and though they are strong, you can drive them out. Let's go on to Joshua 18. All right, everyone okay? Let's keep going. Joshua 18, the next section is titled Division of the Rest of the Land. The whole assembly of the Israelites gathered at Shiloh and set up the tent of meeting there. So you remember the tent of meeting, you can watch my earlier videos, is another tent. There's the main tabernacle, which is within a courtyard. It is like a movable temple, but it's made of tent material, made of curtains and posts. And there are some very special items. There are large altars, basin. There's a basin for washing, and there's this gigantic lampstand. But the lampstand and this table and this incense altar, they're all within the tabernacle, which is like a big tent. So you got to remember there's a courtyard, which is rectangular. And then on one end, right, it faces east. Let's just pretend east is this way. So tabernacle is within this courtyard on this side, on the other side of it. The entrance is over here. Hold on. There. Now, that tabernacle is only for the high priest only for the high priest to enter. And he speaks to God inside there. But not just inside there, he has to go into a place that's, not just inside the tent, but there's an inner room within the tent. And that was called the Holy of Holies. And in that area, behind another curtain, was the Ark of the Covenant. And then he would open the curtain, and he would be holding some incense. It would be burning. And then, only then, he would have to have bells on him too. Only then would he be able to, he would have to be on his knees. Only then would he be able to speak to God, because God would be right above the ark. So that's where the high priest could meet with God. But there was another tent. It was called the Tent of Meeting, where, of course, Mainly only 2 people, again, could meet with them. But I think the tabernacle, you only see the high priest go in there. But the prophet could go in there, but no, mostly it's for the high priest to go in there. Just like I can't wear your clothes. Your clothes are for you. So there's another tent called the tent of meeting, and because people see things, that tent of meeting, you can see both the prophet and the high priest go in there to talk to God. The country was brought under their control. But there were still 7 Israelite tribes who had not yet received their inheritance. So Yehoshua said to the Israelites, "How long will you wait before you begin to take possession of the land that the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has given you? Appoint 3 men from each tribe. I will send them out to make a survey of the land and to write a description of it according to the inheritance of each. Then they will return to me. You are to divide the land into 7 parts. Judah is to remain in its territory on the south, and the tribes of Joseph in their territory on the north." So now, they're more to the north. Manasseh, and Ephraim. So remember, the super secret handshake. And then your pupilos, and then keep it secret. But remember, Judah's in the south, Joseph is in the north, and to the east of Joseph, or Manasseh and Ephraim is Issachar, and then north of M and E, right, Joseph's sons, is Asher. So those are like, you always have to start somewhere. So to remember how all the tribes were allotted their lands, or like where they are, in ancient Israel. So we start with Joseph's sons, Emini, Manasseh and Ephraim. So Judah is now south of them. You might have been thinking that, okay, if Asher is north of them, who's south of them? Judah. Okay, and then after you have written descriptions of the 7 parts of the land, bring them here to me. Well, so quickly, what's 12 minus 7? 4. Okay. So let's see if we got 4. Could be Joseph, Issachar, Judah, and of course Asher. However, remember there's Reuben and Gad and Manasseh again. Remember the half tribe of Manasseh. You see why the repetition might be good? God had Moses write things again and again. I just remembered it like that. The half tribe of Manasseh. So we were like, what about those 3 guys? Didn't they get some land, east of the Jordan already? So there's 2 more, maybe they just mentioned Judah. So it's 3, 5, 12 minus 5. Yeah, I guess it's 7. Okay. For the most part, it checks out. It checks out. Okay, so after you have the descriptions, bring them here to me, and I will cast lots for you in the presence of the Lord our God. The Levites, however, did not get a portion among you, because the priestly service of the Lord is their inheritance, and Gad, Reuben, and the half tribe of Manasseh have already received their inheritance on the east side of the Jordan. Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave it to them. As the men started on their way to map out the land, Yehoshua instructed them, "Go and make a survey of the land and write a description of it. Then return to me, and I will cast lots." Cast lots it's a little like leaving things up to chance. Sometimes you can take straws and cut them into different lengths, right? And then you hold the straws in your hand, but when you hold them, the parts sticking out, right? Like they'll stick out. You make them all the same length, and then whoever draws the short straw, he's the saku. No, whoever draws the short straw, you could, okay, then you're the dude. I just bopped my computer. Then you're the winner, or you're the one. So that's an example of casting lots. I will cast lots for you here at Shiloh in the presence of the Lord. So the men left and went through the land. They wrote its description on a scroll. So remember, a scroll, we have pieces of paper. A scroll is a long piece of paper, and they would roll it up. You could roll it up into something you could hold, like a bat, baseball bat, or like like in Olympics they hand a baton off, right? You could roll it at both ends, so it looks like this thing. It looks like two sticks, Town by town in 7 parts, and returned to Joshua in the camp at Shiloh. Joshua then cast lots for them in Shiloh, in the presence of the Lord, and there he distributed the land to the Israelites according to their tribal divisions. The next section is allotment for Benjamin. The first lot came up for the tribe of Benjamin. So he's not a sucker, I'm just kidding. He's the winner according to its clans. He got, it's better to get your land first. If your parents have some means, and you're sort of rotten, like, man, I want my money, I want my land from my parents. Whoever gets it first from the parents, whoever receives it first from the parents, that's a lucky person. It's better to get stuff from your folks earlier. So Benjamin's a winner. The first lot came up for Benjamin, the tribe of Benjamin, according to its clans. Their allotted territory lay between the tribes of Judah and Joseph. So they're in between. So Judah is not directly north of what I'm calling M&E. Manasseh, and Ephraim. On the north side, their boundary began at the Jordan, past the northern slope of Jericho, and headed west into the hill country, coming out at the wilderness of Beth Aven. From there, it crossed to the south slope of Luz, that is Bethel, and went down to Ataroth Adar on the hill south of Lower Beth Oron. From the hill facing Beth Oron, sounds like Beth Moran. No, Beth Oran. On the south, the boundary turned south along the western side and came out at Kiriath Baal, that is Kiriath Jearim, a town of the people of Judah. This was the western side. The southern side began at the outskirts of Kiriath Jearim. So remember, Kiriath Jearim is the same as Kiriath Baal. on the west, and the boundary came out at the spring of the waters of Nephtoah. The boundary went down to the foot of the hill, facing the valley of Ben Hinnom, north of the valley of Rephaim. It continued down the Hinnom valley along the southern slope of the Jebusite city, and so to En Rogel. It then curved north, went to En Shemesh, continued to Geliloth, which faces the pass of Adumim, and ran down to the stone of Bohan, son of Reuben. It continued to the northern slope of Beth Arabah and on down into the Arabah, which is it the Dead Sea or the Red Sea? It's the Dead Sea. It then went to the northern slope of Beth Hoglah and came out at the northern bay of the Dead Sea. So that's the Arabah. At the mouth of the Jordan in the south. This was the southern boundary. The Jordan formed the boundary on the eastern side. These were the boundaries that marked out the inheritance of the clans of Benjamin on all sides. The tribe of Benjamin, according to its clans, had the following towns: Jericho, Beth Hoglah, Emek Keziz, Beth Arabah, Zemaraim, Bethel, Avim, Para, Ophrah, Kephar, Ammoni, Ophni, and Geba, 12 towns and their villages: Gibeon, Ramah, Be'eroth, Mizpah, Kephirah, Moza, Rechem, Irpil, Tarala, Zelah, Ha'elef, the Jebusite city, that is Jerusalem. They just call it the Jebusite city. Gibeah and Kiriath, 14 towns and their villages. This was the inheritance of Benjamin for its clans. For its clans. I just did a Scottish accent there. Have you seen Braveheart, the movie Braveheart, starring Mel Gibson? I think mainly it's Mel Gibson because he was really famous when he made the movie, but he played a Scottish person named William Wallace. It's a good movie, a lot of fighting in it. There's some real life. He as a youth, his father dies, and then his uncle comes. I am your uncle. Come on, William. I'm going to take you out of here. William is kind of a rich uncle. Gives them a top-notch education. Teaches them how to fight. And then I guess he gets older and, he's looking for love in the right place. He goes home, because he's a Scottish, he's probably a lord, a Scottish lord. His father gets killed. And his uncle lives somewhere else. And then when he's of age, he just goes back to, what this area. It's not Scotland because they did not have a country yet. They did not have their own region. I'm not an expert on the UK, but he went back and then he met Maran. And then he knew Maran when he was young. It's a nice lady. But then the British, they killed Maran. It's a great movie. It's called Braveheart, and there's William Wallace in there. It's about the Scots and how they fought the British a long time ago. They were fighting for their independence, and they wanted a land of their own, but clans, So the Israelites say, these tribes, they have clans too, Scottish, they had clans. Let's stop there. Thank you for listening. I'm just thinking, was William Wallace a Christian? I don't think he was married before a priest, so perhaps he thought it valuable to be married before God. Yep. They ran away. They eloped, and William Wallace and Marin were knelt down and were married by a priest with no one around. So yep, he was a Christian a long time ago. Remember, keep God first. Put him first. He'll take it.